Hi, hello, good evening, and good day. We are discussing Australian Survivor episodes 2 and 3 as we continue its premiere week. We're really excited. Lots to talk about here. So let's just get into it, okay? All right. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined, as always, by my ride or dies, my besties, John Dunphy and Gina Regino, and we are Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod or on our website at stratchatpod.com. I am very upset because there was something I meant to screenshot and share with everyone, because the last time we were all together, we were discussing the fact that the two of you did not answer my question whether you were a hero or a villain, and everybody
You were gonna
made me out
expose
to be
us.
so super crazy, and I forgot all about this, and I immediately sent a screenshot, oh my God, a screenshot to Matt, and I was like, I mean, do you see these fools? They absolutely got asked this question. They did not give the first box. So yeah, and I was reminded of this as I'm watching the trailer, the opening credits, because I assigned John as a villain.
Good.
I made the decision because no one else answered me, and I said that Gina and I would be heroes. How do you feel about your assignments?
I'm good with it. That's
good.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling, was that I think I'd like to be a villain. So
okay, good. So I nailed it. I got it right. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for not answering, but it's gave me a chance to shine. So we are discussing Australian Survivor episodes 2 and 3, and there's a lot to get into here. So how do we kick this sucker off, right? And let's just make sure we get it done in 7 minutes, because, people, there are a lot of naysayers out there. So we had George returning to the villain's camp. Okay.
7 minutes.
I first hate mail.
Okay, I've already wasted 3. So I'm very sorry to our listeners. Any Hoosers, George returns to camp, which we absolutely expected him to do. And then he finds out Angeli gone. Jackie med evac. All right. So everything that he worked hard on in his first night, gone. It was done from scratch. But it's not really from scratch, though, is it? Because other people have relationships that they have now forged. They've begun a foundation with some other people. This isn't really starting from scratch. So once again, we are now seeing George behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
Oh, good. You agree. Okay, great. Good. So that's that. What else do we have here? Obviously, Simon is still talking about wanting to get George out, which makes good sense to me. It's not really what I want, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Michael, this is much to his chagrin, right? Does not want to see George returning, but here he is. Any thoughts on the return of King George? Nah, of course.
I honestly, I expected it to be just like more dramatic. Like he kind of just walked in, like, "Hey," and like I was expecting like a big like thing.
Sarong.
It was just kind of like very much like, "Oh hey, how's it going, guys?"
Oh hey, I got knocked in the face. Whatever.
I expected it to be like a big reveal, like this whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I guess the thing for me, I just seeing how busted up he got from that fall. I felt. We were just talking about Olivia and the Challenge 38,
yeah,
and her injuries, which were terrible. But this looked like it was kind of scary too for George. I mean, the way he came down, you knew it looked like it hurt, like it was bad. But then seeing how bruised he was on his head, it was just,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, that was scary. That was scary.
he had some tears too. Were those fake tears? He seemed a little emotional when he got back at one point. He had like a little confessional and started like crying, but then he turned it off real quick.
He immediately
So
was like, "Oh, good, I cried. I did it."
It's like I was like, wait a
Oh,
minute,
okay.
is this? Yeah, it's like, but I bought it, so I don't know.
too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I bought it because it really wasn't for anyone but us. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't like that's how he was acting when he got back to camp.
Sure.
That was just in the confessional. So like, there's no reason to be performative to us. We can't affect the game. This happened already. You know.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't think it was performative. I think that was actually a genuine moment.
Okay. Okay. Good. That makes that's how I felt too. But he had switched it off so fast, being like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. And then it was very much, but still have to take everybody out. It was like such a quick It was like,
right. And I think that's also like to put a little respect on his name too. Because you could have really built up a lot of sympathy around this, and like we don't really know that he didn't. Because we don't. Again, this is edited down, so we don't know that didn't happen. But from what we can see, it didn't look like he was trying to use his injury as a reason why he should be kept in, right? Like we weren't really trying to garner sympathy from everyone else. So I don't know. I was actually more than okay with this.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we're talking about King George, so he knows when it's time to turn it on and take care of business. And
absolutely, even though people think we don't know who he is. But it was in George's return that we saw Shawnee and Liz now going back and forth, like discussing bringing George into their alliance, because he's like a shield. What do you think about this gameplay? Do you agree, disagree? Do you have any thoughts?
I think I agree with Shawnee that at this point everybody knows George is a threat. People want him out, but from Shawnee's perspective, George is one of the best, shields in there for her. So, DM rocks. It was funny watching Jordy touching the fake idol in Simon's butt.
I really cannot wait.
We shall get there.
I know. I can't wait.
Get there, and we're gonna have the best time. Right up there in Simon's ass. It's gonna be a good time.
I enjoyed Jordy being like, "Yeah, I just want to give it a feel.
Listen, let me just get in there, man.
Yeah, Amelia's like, I want to touch it.
Yeah.
I like Jordy. I was
too.
introduced to Jordy from the previous season, Blood vs. Water, where we saw Queen Sandra play with Nina, her daughter, for the first time. Yeah, I like Jordy a lot. And this just made me like him more. I feel like Australians don't have the same hang-ups as the Americans, as far as the way that straight men interact with each other. Like, I don't feel like there's so many little hang-ups and like stigmas attached, because we did see in this episode, I don't know which episode it was, but after the first one, we did see like Simon and Jordy even laying together, like kind of cuddling a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like we saw some of that on Big Brother Australia as well. Like kind of men doing that kind of a thing. And I just feel like it's a difference in culture, which is refreshing to see. It's refreshing. Yeah. Like it does not have to be all that. All right, let's not overthink things. Some people just like to be held. It's nice. Hugs are good. But so that was that. So we were now faced with our first reward challenge, right? We had our survivors taking turns facing off on a giant turnstile. Now we have seen this before on Australian Survivor. Attempting to push across the enemy line. The first tribe to win 3 rounds gets to raid the opposing tribe's camp for 15 minutes. I'm almost
I like this
from Wikipedia, just in case anybody wants to cancel us.
I really I like this challenge. I love
this challenge. It's always fun to watch. It's fun to see how each team chooses their contenders. Really, really fun. I love how intimidated everyone is by Sean, on the heroes.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, the man's a beast. He's taller than everyone combined. And he'll basically crush you with, just a couple of fingers. He doesn't need his whole hand. Sean is really something. Yeah. So this is a fun one to watch. However, despite Sean, the villains win this one, and they get to now raid the heroes' camp.
And raid they did.
Let me take a look at the notes app here. Let me take a look at the notes app. Right, camp raid. I got everything. I got everything. So okay,
Yes.
so in this raid, we saw now George dumping out, the heroes' food, and like they all agreed they were going to steal their food. All right, makes good sense. Y'all are hungry, mad hungry. Y'all starving. Like, go ahead, take that food. Because they were the ones that won that first reward challenge, so they went back already with a whole lot more than they had to begin with. So like this made good sense. This made good sense. Now, George going and taking the machete and attempting to destroy their shelter. Now, I felt like this was a little what did you think?
You don't gotta do all that.
I don't have to do all that. What, you agree or you don't agree? What do you think?
No. Like, I mean, like him, like trying to destroy their shelter. Like, that's a little much.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Oh, no. I mean, like, he did not have to do all that.
Right. The dumping of the food. Okay. Marginal. To me, marginal. Trying to chop down their shelter.
Ugh.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. What did you think?
I agree with you. I think that's a little too far. Take the food, take supplies, take whatever, but like, I think it will
take things that will benefit you, but don't just like rip them to shreds.
You don't have to destroy them. Just take what you think you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know for me, this was George doing this, right? So I mean, it's King George. He's doing something like he's played this game before. But like for me, I would be thinking like if I rip this shelter down, they're gonna come back the next time that we see each other. They're gonna say who destroyed our shelter. They're gonna say, oh, it was John. And now, if I make it to merge, everyone's gonna hate me.
Then what? Exactly. Yeah. Then what? However, I still felt like the more egregious offense came a little later. And that was the putting out of the fire. Right? And that came to us from there. This picture. If you have not seen Smile, available on Paramount Plus. This is what this harkens back to, which gives me the ultimate heebie-jeebies. But Liz said, "Oh no, baby, we putting this flame out. We're putting it out."
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Matt. Yeah, Nina's mom destroyed the opposing tribe's shelter just to take their tarp in her first season. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't like that either. Didn't like that either. No. And now we're cheering for Liz and her creepy smiley face. Spooky ooky. It's all of a sudden it's Halloween. So what do we think about the putting out of the fire? Is this something that you would have done?
No.
Of course you would have.
No, I kind of put this up there with the shelter thing. I think if not more important, because think about how obviously the villains didn't have anything to start off, but one of the biggest things for them, right, was they didn't have a flint. They couldn't get a fire going. Like it was, so you're gonna come into our house now and put our fire out? Like I'd be pissed about that.
Right. And I think the most fun part about this, though, was that, like, it was really to no avail, right? The heroes were not fazed by this fire put out action because it wasn't actually out, right?
Yeah.
Despite the water that Liz threw on it, this fire was still smoldering. And the hero said, you know what?
Tiniest little ember.
We got this. I don't even know. Was it Jerry? Just comes up and just goes, and raging flames.
Yeah, I think Jerry is very good. I think he's very good at camp. I do think it was him, actually. I think he's very good around camp.
That makes me very interested in seeing more from Mr. Jerry.
Yeah.
We had already seen like a little bit of them saying that basically we love listening to Jerry. He's very smart. He knows a lot of things about being in the wilderness. And I think this really spoke to that expertise.
Sure.
It makes me really, really excited to spend some more time on the hero side because like we don't know like a lot about them, unfortunately, even still after all these. Oh geez, got some more comments here. Leah S wants to know if they have Flint. Who has Flint? The heroes definitely have Flint.
They definitely
got
had
Flint.
it.
Yeah, they had Flint since go because they got it during that very first reward challenge. It was the villains that were struggling, and it was because of Shawnee that they even got Flint. You know, at the end of that last tribal.
Yeah.
Like, do you have
that's
anything
right.
for us? Yeah, they would not have gotten the Flint.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything. And what was that, by the way, from Jonathan? Not often.
Very interesting.
That would never happen in America. Jeff would be like, "Hey, I got something else for you."
You think? I guess
LP was just like, "Yeah, I don't say
wonder if
nothing.
he's-
I ain't got nothing."
I wonder if his thought like was kind of like, I wonder if he's thinking like, there's enough returners here that they should know. You know what I mean? Like if it was all
I don't
newbies,
know if that's fair.
I'll throw you a bone.
Flag on the play.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that Shawnee knew, you know, to ask for it, I think it's part of the game. You know. All right, you don't want to ask me for your Flint. You can try to win it tomorrow, I guess.
No, you're right. You're right. As long as we establish that as a thing, like is that how we do it now? That's how we do it in Australia. Yikes!
I kind of like it.
I think I like it. I'm scared. It scares me a little. Is that a thing going forward? So, like, you know, in American Survivor, obviously, like if you don't win the challenge, you lose your Flint and you get it back. Is that what we're going to be seeing here, or like, do we think that they have their Flint? I didn't see anything.
Did we? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it.
No, I didn't either. But this conversation made me now think about it a little further. I don't think they lose their Flint if they lose, right? I didn't hear any, heard no rumbles.
Because isn't that also like a newer thing in American Survivor too?
It is a newer thing. It is.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about that.
No,
that you would lose it. Yeah.
I don't think so. Can I also just make a public knowledge that like I still have an issue with Shawnee's name? Like it doesn't matter how many times I hear it, I can never remember how to say it. Shawnee. Like put it in there to help me remember. All right, so the
You've
reward
said it right every time.
Have I? Because every single time I'm like, as it's coming out, I'm like, nervous. So, like, yeah, I never know like what's happening.
Here comes Matt, by the way. Here comes Matt to help us. He says, "Yeah, the Flint taking is a new era thing to make the game harder since they shortened it to 26 days."
Boo.
Thank you, Matt. Matt gives us a phonetic spelling here. It's Shawnee.
And that is what I will picture.
Like the man's name,
Sean E. Like the man's name, Sean.
Shawnee.
All right. So that's it. We're at the immunity challenge. And we're seeing our tribes race through an obstacle course and maneuver this is crazy. Maneuver a giant pole up and over a ramp. Then we had 2 members of each tribe then collecting blocks to assemble a puzzle. First tribe to finish wins immunity. So we had George and Fraser doing the puzzle on the villain side. I don't remember who was on the other side, mainly because Wikipedia did not tell me so. I suppose it doesn't really matter because the villains lose once again. Yeah. They take another L. So they're now facing their third evictee. I don't know what you call it in Survivor. It's not an evictee, but elimination.
The exiled.
Leah doesn't know either. Nina and someone. Right. Nina and somebody. We know it wasn't Rogue. That's for sure.
Oh boy.
Right.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so the heroes win. The heroes win immunity. Any thoughts on this?
No, I don't think so. Oh, actually, Sean was a beast. The entire villains tribe is like helping each other push this ball along, and then you look at the heroes tribe, and everyone's behind Sean, and he's just pushing it by himself. He doesn't have to jump. He barely has to jump, really. He's like just on his tippy toes, moving this thing forward, gets it across by himself before the entire villain's tribe. Like,
yeah,
unbelievable.
He is really a force to be reckoned with. Which I think is going to get interesting going forward. You know, everything is all well and good pre-merge. Once we get to merge, I think he's going to be first boot. And even on like merge eve, you know, once people start suspecting that we're getting a little close, they're going to want to get him out. And I think it might be wise to do so, you know, because I mean, look at him. I mean, he can just win his way all the way to the end. And if that's the case, then like, yeah. And, you know, he'll never go. Yeah. I think the heroes have a problem. Can we get into that? I think the heroes are going to have a problem going forward.
Let's do it.
Haley is also not one to be ignored.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a spoiler because I know that Gina's just watching that season. Did you watch this one, Haley's season? You already know she won, so like whatever. She already said it. So like, you know, Haley was eliminated, and then came back to us via a Survivor battle back. And then won the whole
I'm only like a couple of episodes into that season, so I haven't.
You know, Haley's story in this world is really, it doesn't even matter if you know it, because to watch it is really, really it's a masterclass in playing this game. I mean, I have never seen somebody rally so much from being out and on the bottom of everything. You know, as much as we want to refer to George as the king, like Haley absolutely deserved her win because like there was no one more down and out than her. She had no friends whatsoever. She was gone. Like she fought her way back in and still won the fucking thing. Like, I get out of here. Like Haley is everything. So like you can't, if you want to target on the heroes, if you want to target, there's a lot of strong players on that side because you've got Nina, who has now learned from Sandra. Haley, who left, came back and won, and Sean. Yeah. How does anyone else have a shot? Like I really can't imagine. The heroes are going to have they need to lose a lot if anyone on that side wants to win. What an oxymoron, but like, yeah,
it's interesting because I mean I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I think we could start to see that in a little bit, not too long from now. You know,
Matt says we call the vote offs pre-jurors right now, jurors later. That's not official. Don't come for me. Yeah, we don't know. All right, so that's that. That's my thought on the heroes. Anything else there?
I don't think so.
It's hard for someone like me because I don't know any of these people because we very rarely see them. You know, because there's just so much editing being placed on the villains right now.
I really want to know more about the heroes. Yeah, I definitely want to spend some more time on there. And based on the next dawn that we saw from the end of episode 3, I think we're going to get there. I think that's where we're headed. And it's time for it. It's time for that. But yeah, so, you know, Stevie obviously was annoyed now that George had basically said that he did not want him to work on the puzzle with him, which I thought was fun. Anytime Stevie is poo-pooed, I'm going to stand. So I cannot stand that man as far as I can throw him. But George does apologize for not doing so well here, which I still think was more of a social play than anything else. I don't really think that George is that sorry. He ain't sorry at all. Yeah. But people were agreeing that we should be targeting George. And this was something that was really spearheaded by Michael. Simon really wants it too, but he didn't really want to put in the work to make sure it got done. So he wanted really Michael to be the face of this whole thing, and which was probably a very smart decision based on the way that this whole thing ended up. You know, so Michael was really gunning pretty hard for George in this scramble after the immunity challenge. Do you have any thoughts on Michael and his gameplay here? I know that we did run a poll, and I'm going to certainly let John get into that. But any thoughts on Michael and the way that he was going about getting George out?
I don't think he necessarily had bad like ideas, right? Like going after a player like George, but I just feel like the way he was trying to go about it was just all over the place. Like it was just he was just doing way too much. I just it was just all over the place. I thought.
Yeah. It was a little messy. It felt erratic.
Yeah, I feel like they were even. I feel like they were even like kind of making a comment that like every time they turn around, like Michael's just there. Like Michael's just there talking to people, continuing to push George. Like, we get it, man. You want George out. Like we're talking about it. We'll figure it out. Like chill a little bit. Like
right. Totally agree. Also during this scramble, it was the birth of the Spice Girls alliance. Okay? Which obviously pleased me.
Of course.
So this was Shawnee, Liz, and of course King George. Making up the Spice Girl alliance. First of all, anytime George is in an alliance, we're gonna love it. But if you're gonna be in one with Shawnee, obviously love that too. I love her.
Me too.
I love her. The only female that I think I might like as much, if not maybe a shade more, is Sarah.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Ooh, okay.
I love Sarah. Miss Australia who pushed Miss Grease down the stairs.
We have some. Here you go. You got it. That's exactly what I was going
to do. Hell yeah! If you want to be my lover, you got to get with King George.
Crazy Sunday drivers. It's only Saturday.
Sunday drivers. It's only Saturday. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get canceled for our horrible accents. Sorry, we're American. We're doing the best we can.
Wow.
It's not disrespect. It's appreciation. We love you.
Yeah.
I love Spice World so much that I bought the VHS and wore it down so bad that we were like lines in it. I couldn't watch it anymore. So I had purchased it on Amazon Prime so I can watch it at a moment's notice. It doesn't matter where I am, on my phone, at a friend's house, doesn't matter. I can watch Spice World. Okay. So that's how much I love the culture. So anyway, we're at Tribal, right? We're at Tribal. And George has an emotional moment, basically saying he didn't know he was coming back. This felt like this might have been a shade performative.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at it because I did believe you in your confessional or your diary room, as we would say.
Yes.
In the DR.
Yeah. So I was kind of okay with this. I was fine with this. If you're going to use a little bit of your emotion to get you a little further, I mean, we're talking about big money here. So like, okay. Did you have any differing thoughts on George's approach here?
Well, I don't think so. I feel like it's pretty spot on.
Pretty appropriate, right? We love it. We love it. Woo, George. This is where we saw Michael really having a rough go. Okay, it really looks like he really hates George.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point that I was like, I really wonder like how deep this goes, right? Like Michael, the way he was acting towards George felt very Fox News. And for our Australian friends, for our Australian friends, Fox News is basically against everything I stand for. Gay, black, like hate it. And that's exactly what I felt like was going on here. Didn't feel great. Because George kept saying, like, why are you so mad? Like you're frothing mad here. Why are you so mad though? And he's like, I'm not mad. And he's like, we've never even spoken. He goes, we've had interactions. And George is like, no, we haven't.
Yeah.
Like we've never even spoken. And when he kept saying that, I'm like, yikes, this really
I hadn't thought about it until he started saying it. Then I was like, wait, why is he so mad? Like, what is going on here?
Like, why are you angry? Like, because Simon keeps saying George has to go. And he's absolutely right. If you want to win, George's got to go. But Simon's not mad. He's just like, I mean,
he's
Simon
playing the game.
Vengeful, right? But he's not angry. There was something about Michael's anger here that was unsettling.
It was like Simon, at least I think he has some tunnel vision for George because of what happened on their previous season. Like he's kind of starts to focus on George a little too much, I think, but like he still tries to be strategic about it. You know what I mean? Whereas Michael, it just seems all very emotional and over the top. I think George even made a comment at one point. He was like, it's like, dude, we've been here for like 2.5 days and I was in the hospital for one of those days. Like that,
Yeah.
George, you know what I mean? George's like, I haven't even been here the whole time.
It didn't really feel good. It didn't feel good. Leah says that in his exit interviews, he said he wanted George and then Shawnee out because he considered them the biggest threats. Yeah, I agree. It just
He
and they
wasn't
weren't
saying that
not
though.
their biggest threats. It was just right.
Leah says
Yeah. He was
so
so
worked up in the
Up
interviews.
in the interviews, right? And that's what's so like unsettling. Like, because Simon was still like, I still could see Simon like giving George a hug on the way out, or like going to a reunion, and be like, "Hey, I gotcha, ha 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 ha."
Yeah,
But like, I don't think that Michael would be ha-haing at all. Like,
Mhm.
right.
I just feel like it would be the most unsettling exchange ever.
I could see like, let's say, George took out Simon last time, the whole blind side with 2 idols in Simon's pocket, right? Like, I feel like if Simon were to get George on a similar, type of thing now on a blind side, if they did see each other outside of the game, they would literally be like, "Oh, we're even now. Who's going to get the other one next? We got to break the tie." I could still see it
Right.
being something like that. Whereas Michael, it felt like it was this. It's like you've never even met George, and it feels very personal.
Yeah.
It felt very pointed. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. But thankfully, unless we want to, we never have to talk about this again, because why? Eliminated. Michael, hit the brakes. See you later, babes. We'll see you at the reunion. Maybe. See you later, fool. And it was really all of his behavior at this tribal that really got him there. Because I don't think that Michael would have gone home had it not been for his behavior in this moment. Because as he was going on, and George kept asking, like, "Why are you so frothy mad?" Like, there was a lot of conversation, basically playing telephone all the way down the trial.
Because he just kept saying, like, "What have I done? What did I do to you? Like, name one thing."
Hello again, Leah. She says, "I think I remember him saying that he thought to himself before the game that if George ended up being there, he wanted him out, which would make good sense. It was just the anger behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the way he was presenting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Totally.
cool. Not cool.
I put up a poll about Michael on our podcast Twitter account.
Tell us about it. How did it turn out? I haven't checked.
So at the @StratChatPod Twitter account, I asked, 2 episodes into Australian Survivor Hero versus Villains, we see Michael exit. Mike was a very loud player and clearly got himself in trouble by talking too much. But as a new player looking to make big moves, would you ever want to see him on another season of Survivor? The votes have been tallied.
And what the people say?
83.3% say no to Michael.
Thank you, please. No, thank you, please.
No, thank you, please.
Only, right?
Gina. And I did not like to see Michael again.
And I say no.
Nor. Yeah. Just 16.7% of the respondents, the voters, expressed even the slightest interest in Michael returning. Only 16%. So,
well, how dare you assume that their interest was slightest? Maybe they were very passionate about their yes.
It's true. You're right.
I'm just being an asshole. I'm just being an asshole. Good riddance, Michael, from Sir Blevins. It's a hell no.
No.
So good. And that's kind of how we end episode 2, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything more for that sucker?
I don't think so. I think that was it, right, for episode 2?
I think that's
it. Leah.
I think that's it.
Leah wants to participate in our poll. Late vote.
Love it.
Leah says, "I say no to Michael coming back too. He wasn't even a good
correctly.
player. He didn't have self-awareness or the ability to adapt." Totally agree. Fantastic take. That's the correct vote, Leah.
Right, but like, can I wait? Because of Leah's comment, I almost want to like charge back. Could that be a reason to bring him back? Let's see some more messy gameplay. As long as you get the hell out of here before things get really serious. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you're out first in the first week, okay.
Right. Right.
You
One of the
just get-
first 3 boots. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to still be talking about you about the second week. But if you want to come in here and shake things up and be like, oh, he's gone. All right, fine.
Wait, what would he come in and be
That's a
like?
wild sound.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
Oh my gosh.
but Matt agrees. Totally agree. No, he had diarrhea of the mouth. Right. Diarrhea. That's basically what that is. That's it rushing out.
Oh my god. We have talked so much about puke and diarrhea tonight now.
Hey, it's
Oof.
February 2nd. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
It is hey, it's the second month. It's the second day of the second month. What's a number 2?
Oh,
Deuces.
No,
What is happening?
Voodoo
What is
podcast.
So stupid.
Oh my
Well, you
god.
can let me know what that sounded like when we talk tomorrow. Yeah, you tell me. I still want to know. I don't care how off color it is. You know, that's kind of fun. I like. But we opened episode 3 at the villains camp where we had Simon and Jordy discussing their nervousness about George still milling about. Shawnee comments on Steve's quirky presence. I'm so tired of Stevie. I don't want to see anything more of Stevie. I think I had a note. Wait, hold on.
Wow.
I really don't like Stevie.
You're
I
fired
see
up
that.
right now.
I don't like anybody who speaks out about people I like. So the second you start to make a move against somebody that I feel
Right.
I've aligned myself with, I'm
He said,
done. I'm done. Exactly. You're gonna talk about Shawnee. I'm done. Get the hell out of here. I wish
Yeah.
I could influence the game. I would make sure I take away your BB bucks. I make sure I take away anything.
BB bucks.
I make sure you're bankrupt. Yeah, I don't like Stevie at all.
Matt
Oh my
agrees.
gosh.
Matt agrees
I
with
don't
you.
like him at all.
Matt says Stevie also makes me uncomfortable. That's what Matt says.
Of course he does, because Stevie sucks. However, I will say that Shawnee doing Stevie's Tai Chi at the opening of episode 3 did give me a
Yeah.
chuckle. Because she's
That
like,
was good.
I hate him. I can't wait for him to go. I'm like, yo. I think I might like her more than George. I don't know. It's early, but we'll get there. So after Stevie's Tai Chi, no, it was not after. Well, it was after the Tai Chi. We played a reward challenge, right? We had one member of each tribe racing out to the water to get a sandbag and carry it back to their tribe station before the other player. First tribe to win 3 rounds wins a giant jar of chocolate cookies.
Mhm.
Yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Get that sugar.
Yeah. I like these challenges. I feel like we really only see things like this in Australian Survivor. We really get very, very physical, and we're stealing things from people. We're taking things. Leah says they have a deleted scene with George complaining. Stop. Stop. Wait, I have to see it. Please. Leah. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Please slide in. Send me a clip. Where can I find this? Any George content that you can possibly find, send my way. My handle is in my box. Even if you don't want to share it with the group, you can share it with me. Anything George.
Wow, how quickly we are excluded.
Listen.
Wow,
I don't know where Leah's coming from. Like, maybe she just wants to just talk about like a George groupie. I don't know. I don't know what the temperature is out there. I just want to know I am open to the George content, and I want all of it. So even if these two fools aren't, I'm Kyle Petty is. All right, you find me.
Wow.
I know you're saying wow as if I'm supposed to like renege. I won't. Love King George. But yeah, so there was that. So they play the reward challenge, right? Hold on, I already forgot what it was. Oh, right, yeah, these physical ones. I like these. We don't see these in America, where we have people like fighting in the water and stuff like that. I feel like we only see this in
Yeah.
Australia, right?
And they go at it. Like they really go at it.
Yeah. I
Um,
think you can do this in Australia because they have a better attitude towards these types of competitions, you know?
I could see on like our version of the challenge if like they were like, well, I guess they get pretty physical on that. But there was just a couple of things. I think it was Sam going up against like Simon in this challenge, where it almost looked like Sam had like his hand on Simon's neck at one point. Like, I was just like, they are really going at it. Like it felt a whole level, like a different level of intensity than like even the physical challenges we get on like the challenge 38. I know we get hall brawl and we get this and that, but like, I don't know. There's just like a different intensity to what they do here. But I also feel like they could just end the challenge is over and they're all still cool. Whereas I feel like it would cause problems, like fights would break out in the challenge house or whatever, you know, on our version of the challenge. I don't know. There's something about this game.
No, I agree. I don't think it's just this game. I think it's the way the Australians play these games, because we definitely saw this in Big Brother Australia as well. Like these people, they play, but like they are all aware that it's just a game. Like I don't know. I just think the culture is just different. They're just not as nasty. It's just nicer people than we are.
You've said that a couple of times too. Yeah.
Yeah. I just really think that that's kind of what it is. Like they're just better than us. So they play, right? They play. And the villains win. Do they? Is that what I said?
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
The villains win.
They get the jar of cookies.
They do get the. Oh, yes, they do. They do get the jar of cookies.
You know, can I say one more thing about this?
Of course, you
Sure.
can. That's why we're here.
Because we've talked about Sean. He's such a beast. And so far, in these more physical challenges, it just happened to be the reward challenges with the turnstile and with this in the water, like the wrestling sort of for this bag. The villains have been out strategizing the heroes to the point where Sean is constantly going up against Stevie or something like that, you know? And it's like, I'm dying for that moment where we see Simon and Sean battling, you know, like that's what I want. And we haven't been able to get that yet. So like, I'm just, yeah. Like, I feel like he's still showing up in the immunity challenges, but he's not like, it's not like a one-on-one battle with a villain. You know, it's like, I want to see him go toe to toe and just destroy somebody. Like, you know, like he's a beast in all these immunity challenges, but they're more team based, teams competing against teams. It's like, I want to see a more physical thing, like one-on-one Sean just taking somebody out and not 62-year-old Stevie, who is like less than half of his height, you know?
Boring snoozer.
Right.
Boo. Yeah, but they also put Stevie up as a throwaway thing because they also all knew that no one was going to win against Sean in this thing.
Sure.
And the way that he ran into that water, I mean, he basically just trotted off through the long ass legs. I mean, this was no problem for Sir Sean.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree. And Matt says here, oh, you got it.
Yeah,
it's a little satisfying. Yeah, it's a little satisfying watching Stevie get crushed every time, though. And like, I do agree. Like, it's fun to see Sean just walk in and be like, "This is like child's play for me." But like, I do.
The only thing I disagree with is the fact that you said it was a little satisfying. Balsas. It was very satisfying. I was thrilled. I was cheering, screaming at 5:45 a.m. watching this episode. I loved it. Yeah, I hate Stevie.
Yeah.
I'd like for him to be forcibly removed from the game.
Wow.
Leah. She wants to know if we watched the challenge. Listen, girl, we love the challenge. Did you watch the challenge, Australia? We covered it. We loved it.
We sure did.
Yeah. No, we love the challenge. We love the challenge. We just
The
talked about that an hour
Batchy,
ago.
the Batchy Alliance.
The Batchy Alliance. Yeah, no, we're big on the challenge over here. We love the challenge in this house. I would love to see Sean in the challenge. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Instant champ.
Yeah. Oh, that really would be fun. And I'd love to see him come over and play with guys like Devin and Bananas and CT here. Right?
Oh my gosh.
And honestly,
Sean would be a beast.
do you know what's interesting too? Actually, just as we're talking about this,
Tell
Fessy,
us.
right? We always talk about Fessy being this super, super like huge threat, like a physical threat in a hall brawl. Imagine seeing
Mhm.
Sean and Fessy in a hall
In the
brawl.
hall brawl.
You know, maybe Sean is that answer to Fessy,
Stop.
where it's now like, you know what I
Damn.
You
mean?
put that on
We're
pay-per-view.
could you imagine? Maybe Sean is
$20.
the Fessy that, you know,
That'd
the
be
answer to Fessy that we have to bring
bonkers.
in.
Can that be the next celebrity net fight? You know how they always
Ooh.
like promoting these things? I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, these people, I don't care about these people."
The
If I
boxing
saw
matches,
Sean
yeah.
and Fessy, get the fuck out of here. I'd pay for that in 2 seconds. You know, I throw my account negative to watch that shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be so good. Because I really don't know who would win in that one. Fessy v.
Yeah.
Sean, boxing?
It'd be
Woo.
bonkers.
That can go
Yeah.
any way. I still think it might be Sean.
I think so too, honestly.
I
He
think
is
it might be.
such a beast.
But Fessy would definitely give him a run for his money. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Leah, for that. That was fun to dive into. I never even imagined these people in that world.
Oh, look what Leah says. Leah says, I would love to see Fessy just be humiliated by Sean.
Leah. Oof.
Listen,
we stand
I like Fessy, I do, but I definitely
Mm.
like Sean more. Sorry. Yeah,
And Matt agrees. He says, right? He says, Leah, yes.
yeah.
He says,
Yeah.
rooting for Sean in that scenario.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sorry, Fessy.
Wow.
Sorry, Fessy. I do what I
Yeah.
can. I do what I can. But after this reward challenge, and everybody's eating the cookies, George says, "The hell with this. The hell with this. I need to go find me an idol." Angelique gone. Jackie gone. I ain't got nobody. I got the Spice Girl Alliance, but I don't really know what to do with that. Listen, as y'all eating these cookies, there's plenty of cookies in that jar. Let me go find me an idol. And find me an idol, he did.
Oh,
George
yes.
finds an idol. Yeah. Very soothing to the soul. Very soothing.
I can't wait to see his second idol tattoo too when he gets it done, you know?
It's done already.
I was gonna say, I think I saw that on socials.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen it.
On his
I
hand.
still have not seen it yet.
Yeah. That
All
means
right.
you're not following King George on the Twitter. He did
No.
share a video of him getting this idol tattooed already. It's already done. He didn't do it where he said he would, though. He is a liar. He said he would do it on his chest. Balsas. It's now on the inside of his right arm.
Oh, it's on the inside.
Okay.
I thought it was on his hand.
Yeah, I've been slacking. I haven't.
Well, Leah says it's on the put on his wrist, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a liar. I'm a liar.
yeah, I feel like it's in the same spot as one of these guys. But it did happen. So he did make good on his promise, even if it's in a different spot. That's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. It's your body, your choice. But it did happen. Found the idol. Now, anytime we win a reward, we know that there's something else going on right now. We have seen this in Australian Survivor before. Well, we've seen it in American Survivor too. Anytime you're on a reward, you really should be looking for a clue for an idol or maybe an idol itself. You should be looking for some kind of advantage in the game. And people knew that there had to be something in the cookie jar. So who had their hands in the cookie jar?
I knew.
Mimi.
I knew it was coming.
Mimi had her hands in the cookie jar. Yes, you couldn't be. Then who?
That was wild.
Mimi.
I'm so happy you did it the whole stream. I was like, if he doesn't do this.
I was so excited all day. Cookie jar song.
Oh my god.
Mimi was up in there. And who saw it? Miss Australia.
Wow, I guess I'm not an idiot. It was indeed on his hand.
Wow, it was on his hand. Not
Proud
on
of
the
me,
inside.
proud of me, proud of
Also,
me.
not on the wrist. That's okay. I am now besties with Leah. We both got it wrong. Right, and I'm still doing my peeping.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a long time.
Oh my god.
so stupid. Anyway, so yeah, what was this for? Oh, the cookie jar. The cookie jar.
Yeah, the cookie jar.
Sarah saw Mimi in the cookie jar in the middle of the night. She was stirring and stirring and stirring.
That was some horror movie shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because she was the way she sat up too, right?
Wait, actually, was it Sarah? I actually feel like it was Liz. Wasn't it Liz?
Was it Liz?
Which would then make it even more funny because she's the one with the creepy smile.
I don't remember.
Because I feel like Liz said something about it, like at the tribal or something.
It could have been Liz. It could have been Liz.
I really don't remember who it was.
I mean, it was in the dark. I don't totally remember. I do watch these in the morning before.
I just remember all of a sudden there was a body there, and I was like, "Ooh, jump scare!"
You're right. My schedule has been watch in the morning, sleep, and then work. So, like, who knows? I'm uncoffeed. I'm on coffee. Leah has confirmed it was Liz. All right. So I am very incorrect.
She's really on her horror movie shit.
She is. She is. And actually, I'm happier that it was Liz because we have a new reason. We share this. All right. This is the face that was watching.
Spooky ookie.
This is the face that was watching her dig through the cookie jar. All right. Actually, that works out better for me. Matt confirms as well. It was Liz. Literally sat up like the Exorcist and just stared at her. That's exactly what we saw.
It was very interesting.
And this is this is what Mimi would have seen had she looked behind her.
Oh God, could you imagine?
I would have drowned myself. I can't. I don't think I can deal with this.
Oh my God.
But she says nothing. She says nothing, and Mimi finds nothing.
Yeah.
However, not before she breaks up many a cookie to send everyone into a tizzy. All right. So camp was absolutely a buzz. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Or what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's happening is that these cookies are broken and they are not eaten. So what's going on? Why are these cookies all crumbly? That means somebody was rummaging on through.
Like, I don't know how like sturdy or fragile the cookies were, but like, what was she doing in there? Was she like just plunking her hand down, like bonk, bonk, bonk? Like, what was she doing? I feel like I would have tried to be more careful. Like,
were very soft. They did say the cookies were soft.
Okay.
However, even if they were crispy,
I'm thinking like Oreos, like just
even if they were Oreo quality. I mean, it's still, if you're rummaging around looking for something, that was going to happen. Like,
sure.
Which is why they were in cookies, you know, which I think is very, very fun. I think it's very fun. What does Leah say here? I'm trusting her blindly. I didn't even read it first. I forgot the name of the girl voted out, but in her exit interview, she said she asked Liz beforehand if she could check the jar, and she said yes. They were rated differently on the show. Now that is
shady.
Very interesting.
I like that.
Wow.
That's very fun. That's very
fun. Savage.
Now I also wonder, like, is it that they portrayed it differently on the show, or was that part of her gameplay to kind of now say, "Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything."
Right.
Oh,
well,
you really did. Oh, you really did. Gotcha so goodly.
Leah has another comment here. Leah's comment says she said she didn't out her at trial because she wanted to preserve that relationship in case she wasn't voted out.
Interesting.
Uh-oh. Honestly, all that does is make me want to stand Liz just a little bit more. All right. That makes me want I like that. I think that's good gameplay. You're leaving your options open while knowing certain things. Because at any point, if you reveal that, it could work for you.
Yeah.
Or does it? If you keep it for too long, do you think that could be a problem if you reveal it later? Will people think that maybe you were in cahoots to have this shared idol? And because maybe your relationship went sour, that's now why you're divulging this information? Could it work against you?
It's true.
We'll just leave that there because it doesn't really matter much because Mimi found
No,
nothing.
she's yeah.
Yeah, she
Yes,
found nothing.
Mimi.
She found nothing. However, Simon went a digging, now didn't he?
Mhm.
And Simon found a little medallion. It was a circle, had a little design on it. It was not wrapped. It did not come with a note that said this was an idol. It was just a medallion, which Simon immediately assumed was an idol. Now, we as viewers know that this is not so. How do we know this? Because usually when a player receives an idol, we are told so when they flash their name and all their other bio credits below. We see a little idol symbol.
This
In
made
this
me laugh
case,
so hard.
right? In this case, we just saw Simon with an idol symbol grayed out with a big red X through it.
I
Which
laughed so I
means
was like, not them Xing out the idol.
which means this truly is not an idol. But then what is it?
Right.
Leo wonders if this might be an idol nullifier. Now, I did have this conversation with Blevins, and he concurs. He thinks that this
Yeah.
could be the case as well.
Yeah.
There it is. Now, I don't really. Who knows? Who knows? The fact that a lot of people think that it's a nullifier, as a viewer, I really want it to now not be that. As a viewer, I would really love for this to be just a big nothing. I think it's like really fun. Like, Jonathan, yeah, I like to play this. And they're like, baby, that ain't nothing.
What is that?
It's like, what is that? Did you make that?
Are you surprised at all? Like, we know Simon's history with idols and collecting them. Are you surprised that he is like so sure it's an idol right away, even without getting any kind of note or piece of parchment along with it? Like,
right, there's usually some kind of like instruction when you find something. So to just assume you know what it is
right. Like, he found it
wild.
and was just like, oh, it's an idol. Good. I got it. I found it. Good. Great. But like, you don't actually know that.
No, and I guess the only reason I'm not really surprised by this from Simon is that, like, Simon, and I'm not saying I do think that he has a very good strategic mind, right? Like, I do think he's built well for this game, but I also believe that, like, he's a little more than a little cocky, and that's it. I just think that he just always assumes that things are going to be working in his favor. And I think that's his biggest downfall, because that's really what got him eliminated in his season. I mean, the man had 2 idols, and you saw the clip of it even in this season. Like, it's not really a spoiler. The man had 2 idols, revealed that to who he thought were his ride or dies, and then they were like, "Oh, well, that's the reason now to get rid of you. You've got 2 idols. You got to go."
Yeah.
I think that he's just so cocky about his ability in this game that he gets a little ahead of himself. I definitely do think that he should be kind of acting with some confidence because, again, I don't think he's an idiot. I do think he's good at this game, but I just think he gets a little ahead of himself.
Yeah.
And
I think he found that, and it just like he already wanted to go for George, right? But once he found this thing in the cookie jar, it just intensified that. Like, now, full on tunnel vision. There's no one else but George in my sights. Like
right. It's only George. That's all he wants to do, and it's like, I get it, but like, I definitely do think it's more advantageous to somebody like him, at least for the next few votes, to kind of leave George in for the same reason that Shawnee sets it. Like,
totally,
he is still a bigger threat than anyone else, and like, everyone's so concerned that he's going to make a run for things when they get to merge. Like, I don't think that George is that much of a physical threat that if you really, really stuck to your guns and you stuck to the people that you've been working with, you should still be able to get him out at merge. Like, this isn't a Sean who could win all of these challenges and just kind of make a run for it, or even like Haley for that matter.
Yeah, it's true. Did you see Leah's comment here about the cookie jar?
Yeah, I shared it. I just didn't say anything about it. I did put it on the screen now, but go ahead.
Oh, I was looking away. I didn't even see it.
It's fine.
I wonder. This is interesting. I didn't even really think about this. I wonder if like to get to the end of the cookie jar and maybe there's something more, some kind of explanation that they just haven't seen yet. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just missed it. Maybe they missed it. But I like that he thinks it's an idol. I love when people play things that are not real.
Yeah.
I always get a charge out of that. Because
Yeah.
we have seen that on Australian Survivor before. Did you see that season, John?
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it in American Survivor as well, like making a fake
Right.
idol and kind of giving it to somebody. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. That's all that on the idol. So the immunity challenge. Whew, we still have things to do. So both tribes have to carry a heavy ladder through an obstacle course and then use it to climb up to release a net full of coconuts. 2 players then will toss the coconuts to break the 6 tile targets, and the first tribe to break all their targets wins immunity. I like this challenge a lot. I like that second portion you had to first use that ladder as monkey bars, and then if things were not working right, you can now remove the ladder and repurpose it as a bridge. Just by itself, I just think that this is what makes Survivor so very, very cool. That these challenges are so adaptable to what is going on. You don't see that in Big Brother. You don't see that in the challenge either. You can't change what the challenge is. This is really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God, there's so many people saying this. So Matt says, Kyle, you need to watch season 40, Winners at War. Someone tries to play Jeff's podium. What? And Leah said the same thing. I love when Adam played the podium on American Survivor. Leah also asked, the bridge seemed easier. Why couldn't they switch it from the beginning? I got the feeling that you had to try it first as monkey bars. And then once everyone failed once, then you were allowed to switch. That was the impression I got. But season 40, Winners at War. Okay. All right. This weekend is supposed to be really cold in New York.
It is like ridiculous.
Yeah, like really cold. So I already bought things to make chili on Saturday. I'm gonna get up early. Yeah, I'm gonna make chili. Got a couple of edibles. And Tommy's gonna be busy in a lot of the afternoon. Tommy's my roommate for our new friends. He's working on his podcast. So maybe that's what I binge on Saturday. What are you doing Saturday? You're going to be available for constant communication? Let's see. Let's talk about it. Because I'm also watching the season. I'm actually watching a season of Survivor now, American Survivor with Taj. Taj from SWV. That was an American R&B group from the 90s. I'm so into you. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't know what to do.
Yes.
Yes. SWV. Yes. So Taj was on some season of American Survivor. Yes, there it is. There it is. That's what I'm currently watching now. But I will switch to see whatever you're talking about. Like, I'll just go all over the place. I don't care. Let's talk about it. But any Hoosers, the fake idol, blah, 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 blah. Well, heroes win immunity. Shocker. They've just been crushing it.
Yeah, it's funny because it feels like the villains have managed to like out-strategize them for the reward challenges. They've done pretty well there. But apparently, I think they said that the villains are the first tribe in Australian Survivor history to lose the first 3 immunity challenges straight. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
And that means they've lost 4 people.
Right.
What a blow.
Do you think do you think they still would have elected to have their tribal vote? Jonathan gave them the option to cancel the vote. Do you think they still would have done it if they had known that they would lose the first 3 immunity challenges and would be 4
so
people
risky.
down in the
this
first
could
week?
have happened so easily. I don't know why they didn't consider it.
Right.
That right out the gate they were going to be down numbers.
That's the thing. I think they did consider it, and I think that they were all trying to play into this theme.
Yeah.
You know, because even Sarah said that we're villains. We're supposed to do this. Like we keep hearing that, and it's like
Yeah.
I wonder if you would have made that decision if there wasn't this theme, which is an interesting topic to get into as well. Like we don't really see that in Big Brother. Like we have
Yeah.
themes that like well maybe will separate the house mid game, but we don't come in with a thought. You know, they all arrived knowing there was going to be this heroes and villains things. We have seen in some seasons of Big Brother where, like, you know, we get them all together and then we separate them, like the jocks and the nerds and like
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And we have these themes, but they didn't come into that thinking, I'm going to be playing this game in this way, which
Sure.
is what I feel like this season was presented as. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that affects people's behavior or the choices they make as they move forward in the game?
I mean, I do think this whole season the villains have really been playing into the villainy of everything they're doing. Like even just
Yeah.
like
Right.
raiding the camp and like everything that they're doing is just like so, oh, we're villains, we're the bad guys. We gotta like be villainous and blah blah blah. Like they're really, really leaning into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really leaned in, especially right from the beginning. I remember seeing in that very first reward challenge when, you know, the heroes are getting up to the top of their platform. Sean's trying to juggle with the torch, and Simon's pulling him, you know, trying to pull him
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know, like they really
Boo, boo.
into, yeah, right from the beginning. They've really bought
Mhm.
into the role of a villain.
Right.
So
Yeah, I feel like it kind of is, at least in the beginning, it's really affecting how people play because they want to try and be good for the cameras and be good for TV and like
Mhm.
be entertaining. And like, I don't really love that.
yeah,
Yeah. But it was because now of this idol that Simon thinks he has that he hatches this plan to get George out. Right. Basically, tell George that the plan is to get Stevie out, even though we're going to vote for George. And Shawnee says, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. No way. I like George. George is a Spice Girl.
yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
keep George around. What do you think about that? Right move for Shawnee?
I do. I think she's been correct in this mindset the whole time. Keep the bigger threats than you in there, but not too long. But
Right.
Just for a little bit.
And she wasn't really the only one that kind of had doubts around this, right? Like Jordy had some issues with this too. Because Jordy was concerned that if George goes, they're like, hey, I mean, just like Shawnee, like this means that like I move up on this list.
Yeah.
Which I kind of agree with after seeing how Jordy played like the last season. This is really not someone that you would want to keep in the game either. If George goes, I think a lot of people have some problems. And it shocks me. And I guess, again, like we're not spending a lot of time on the hero side, but like, because I want to say like, oh, nobody's talking about Haley. Like she actually won. She won. And it's like, but they haven't lost. So.
Right. You know, it's interesting. Like George, I think if he went, would be like that first domino, right? Like you were saying, everyone else is in trouble as soon as George goes. He would be that first domino. And, you know, it's interesting to me that like, you have 4 people now that have left, right, from the villains tribe. They're all newbies, right? It was Jackie due to injury, Angeli, Michael, and then now, you know, we're getting to it. I guess we already know what's coming up, right, with Mimi leaving. But like, it's like it's interesting. I think if George went, all of a sudden you'd see now Jordy's in danger, Simon's in danger, Shawnee's in danger, but George is like that domino that hasn't fallen yet. That's like kind of giving them all a bit of protection.
Yeah, which is interesting to me because as you say that, I completely agree. And it makes me want George to leave. Like as a viewer, like get him out of here so we can see people talking about some other things. I want to see the game actually be played. I don't really want George to go, but
Right.
yeah, it's tricky because I feel like that is going to be the dominant conversation going forward. George. And it's like, can we see something else? So I would love for the heroes to lose already. So just so we can see a different conversation, because then at least we won't be talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as you said, we lost Mimi. We lost Mimi in episode 3, mainly because of her behavior in the cookie jar. People didn't like that. Really sat with them wrong. But I didn't think this was a particularly interesting tribal, unless I missed something. I felt like
Well,
I mean, there was all this, will he use the idol or won't he, and all the whispering and the going back and forth.
there was a lot of shuffling because Simon kept
yes.
turning to Jordy saying,
I'm
you know,
so wrong.
I need to do this. I need to do this. I need you to help me. Will you
I
help
need
me?
your help.
Yeah. And Jordy saying, I don't know, like, let me ask the girls. And Jordy gets up and he starts talking to Liz
Right,
and
right.
and Shawnee.
So let me ask you this. So Simon kept insisting that he needed Jordy's help. Do you think that he really did?
I don't know why he would.
I think
I don't know why it matters.
I feel like he might have, because Mimi, right? I believe Mimi still voted for Stevie. So if everybody voted for Stevie, everybody voted for Mimi, but then Mimi voted for Stevie, and then Simon votes for George. Well, now it's still only tied.
But then, why is Jordy the person that you need the most? Why wouldn't you just tell Mimi to vote George?
Right? Jordy's whispering to everybody else. Why don't you say, all right, this isn't going to work, so I'll save Mimi.
Right, because Mimi would do whatever you said if she thought it was going to keep her safe.
Yeah.
Oh, you tell me to vote George? You say you have an idol? Yeah, I'm doing it. That still would have been 2 votes. You don't need Jordy. So I don't really know like what that was. Like, my only thought was like, maybe you think that it would be better to stand with someone that's staying in the game, that has some strong footing in the game. Maybe align yourself with them so that if you pull this off, at least you've got one other. But I don't really think, even with what we just discussed, I don't really think you would have lost Jordy either way. So by keeping Mimi and getting Mimi to vote George and then using your fake idol, like the way you thought it was going to go, you still would have had 3. Like, that's not bad.
I feel like Jordy would almost be like, all right, actually, good for you. You did all the dirty work, took George out. I have no blood on my hands.
Right. I think Jordy would have gone for that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised Simon didn't get it. I guess he was just so focused on trying to talk to Jordy and Shawnee and Liz that I don't know. I guess maybe he didn't even think. Maybe I should get up and whisper something to Mimi right now real quick. Hey, vote George. That's all you have to say.
That should have been the original conversation. Like, before you even spoke to Jordy, go to the person that is in the most danger. If you feel like you have this idol, like, that's your automatic too. Jordy is just extra frosting. You know what I mean? Like,
which makes me wonder, like, I wonder if Simon was wavering, and that's why he was like, oh, let me, maybe he was thinking, oh, well, if I work with Mimi, I can do it. But there was a point before the tribal started where, like, Jordy was kind of trying to talk to him and calm him down a little bit, and like he was going a little back and forth, it seemed, Simon in his head. But then once he got to tribal, it seemed like he was all ready to go, George again. Like, But so maybe he was wavering on it and just didn't talk to Mimi. I don't know. Seems a little, but that's kind of what we were saying before too, right? That Simon, he's a good player. Is he always the best strategically, or is he a little, all over the place? Right? We were saying that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still think he's good strategically. I sans this decision. Like, I just don't. But otherwise, I still do think that he has a good strategic mind. I don't think this is really. I don't think this really highlights it.
Like, I think it's I think it's not totally like Michael, to a much lesser degree. It seems like Simon has the right idea here. Get out George, this big threat that you want your revenge on, but tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
right. He's coming at George with the same amount of venom and animosity that Stevie is coming at Shawnee. And it's like, this is not, that does not create an environment where good decisions are made.
Yeah.
But Goodbye, Mimi.
Poor Mimi.
We barely
Yeah.
deviate. And that's it. That's it. That's how episode 3 ended.
Well,
Mimi's
not quite, because we did finally get that hat in the fire
The
moment.
fire. Yes. Yes.
Kyle does not seem pleased.
I don't like this moment. I mean,
ooh. Leah brought up an interesting little thing that happened here between
What does
George and
Leah say?
Haley. I think this was at that immunity challenge, the last one. George went up to Haley at the end and kind of gave her some clues, a little assistance. Hey,
that.
look around the big trees and the roots over by the well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get into it. What did you think of that?
He was not a fan of the hat burning. Does not like the destroying of personal property. Yeah, nobody should be throwing King George's hat in the fire. I'm sorry.
I didn't like that. Just leave his shit alone. I'd leave his shit alone.
But anyway.
What did you think of George telling Haley where the idol might be in terms of her camp? What did you think of that?
I think it's very interesting.
Why?
I guess I just wasn't expecting it. I know they have a bit of a rivalry themselves, right? Haley and George. So is this, a plan for him to try to maybe get on someone's good side on the other tribe? Or is this, you're one of my rivals, I'm going to pretend I'm feeding you some good information to find an idol. But then if you do find it and I find out, like, I'll have information that like you might have an idol or something, so I can tell people, Haley might have an idol. Or I don't know.
But
is he trying to use it to a strategic thing, or?
She can so easily tell everyone on her tribe that he has something. So if he still has it come merge, then all of the heroes are looking to flush it out. If he's still there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Matt thinks that, George wants Haley safe so he can take her out.
Yeah.
And Leah says, they could honestly work together and have nobody know later in the game.
It's very true.
I like both. I don't know that I would have actually done this if I was George. Only because I didn't like Haley's comment at the beginning of this challenge, because Haley said, "Oh, no matter what, King George prevails," and it's like, shut up! It's like you saying that will now make everyone else in my tribe take a second look at me.
Right.
I think that was actually at the beginning of the reward challenge. Actually, I think that was the beginning of the reward, which is why I don't know that I would have said this then. Because I feel like she said that when they were all walked in and she saw him. And I felt like that was a strategic move on her part to make sure they took a second look at him. So for that, I would not have told her where an idol might be, because you don't know where she's seated on that tribe. Like, she may never need to play that idol, and then she gets to merge with it. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I didn't like this move at all.
Is there any way that you could see George doing that and trying to feed her some information about the idol to try to stop her from making comments like that? Like, listen, can you just leave me alone already? I'll help you find an idol. Stop saying things in front of everybody.
Right? Like, can you actually, without more of a conversation, can you actually trust that this person wouldn't do that again?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just a thought. Like, I'm wondering, like, Haley keeps making comments to draw attention to me. Maybe if I just feed her a little information, she'll cool it. I'm wondering if that played into his, thought process at all. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not.
I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at that, and I guess we'll see how it all plays out. There's so much game.
Oh my God, here. I know.
Speaking of which, I saw a schedule posted for when Australian Survivor is going to be airing, and it does look like we are keeping up with the 3 per week schedule.
Whew.
It looks like we are looking at Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Interesting.
So we can talk offline about how we want to handle that. I still vote for once a week. Just do it all at once.
Yeah, I'm down.
But if somebody wanted to do a Monday and kind of toss one in there to make it a little simpler for Thursday, I'm not closed to that conversation. But yeah. Anything more for episodes 2 and 3 of Australian Survivor?
I did just write down a few things that I'm looking forward to.
What are you looking forward to?
So it looks like next time George goes looking for that hat that's now been burned.
Right.
So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. It looks like Simon still has his sights firmly on George, but it does look like George might be onto him a little bit, maybe. And then we did also get some discussion. I think it was Haley talking to a couple of people about potentially throwing an immunity challenge coming up here. So, kind of what we were mentioning before, that it might be good, right, for the heroes to actually send somebody home, right? And it looks like they might be feeling the same way,
which is not necessarily, I think, the best move for Haley.
Yeah, I don't know why she would be the one to pose that.
Right, you're a previous winner. Doesn't sound good. Everyone knows your physical threat.
I would expect other people to pose it to get rid of her.
Right. So like this is going to be tricky. I'm interested to see how that plays out for Miss Haley. But
yeah.
Are
we going to talk about our 3 faves of the week? Our 3 Survivor AU faves?
Oh yeah.
I forgot.
It's getting so late.
I know. It is.
Yes. All right. So go ahead. Who are your 3 faves?
Okay. I didn't even do this on purpose, but I had some alliteration going here. Number 1, Shawnee. Just love her. I just love everything about her.
So you're giving your full 3. All right. So what we decided to do for our listeners, we wanted to start like weekly ranking system, right? We wanted every Thursday, we are going to now rank our favorite players of the week. 1, 2, and 3. Our first place selection receiving 3 points, our second place selection getting 2 points, and our third place selection receiving 1. That we can tally each week and just see how our survivors are stacking up. There is absolutely no foundation, no like basic criteria for this. We can all award our points however we deem fit. So you're giving your 3 points, the first 3 points ever awarded in any Stretch at Pod. You're giving 3 points to Shawnee.
That's right. I just love her. I love how she plays the game. Right. I love her personality. I think she's great. Number 2 for me is Sean.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean gets 2 points from me. He might even be number 1 if we had seen what we had talked about earlier. Sean, like, taking Simon down in the water or something like that, really showing his one-on-one physical prowess. But he's a beast in the challenges. He seems like a really good team player, just like a really good guy all around, And then my number 3, getting 1 point, is Simon. Because he just, like, I feel like it's just chaos. He's got fake idols in his ass crack. He's just like, he's constantly causing up, stirring up trouble, and he's just like, I don't know. I like Simon, and
wow.
I just think he's
our lists were very similar
to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 3 S's for me: Shawnee, Sean, and Simon.
Okay. Gina, where do your faves lie?
Our lists were very similar. I also have 3 S's. They are not all the same. My number 1 was also Shawnee.
Really?
I think she's so fun.
Leading the pack.
My second was Simon for all the same reasons that you just said.
Your second was Simon.
My second was Simon for all the same reasons. Like, I just like, he's so chaotic, and it's just going to be such good TV. And then my third was Miss Sarah.
Sarah.
Also a great choice.
A wonderful choice.
And who are you?
Just love the whole
3?
Miss Grease thing.
Well, my number 1 is going to George.
Totally understand.
It's not because I'm an old fan. It's partly because I'm an old fan, but it's also because, like, I mean, this man was on everyone's mind. Everyone said George, and this man is still here, injury and all. Like, they still didn't say, "Oh, you're a waste physically. Oh, you're too much of a threat." No one is getting rid of this man How is he not number one?
Yeah.
Everyone talks about why he should go, but no one's doing it.
Yeah.
So bam, 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 bam. My next selection was Shawnee, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, she's really, really something else. She's really something else. And my last selection was Sarah.
There she is.
Yeah.
I knew she would be on your
I
list.
love her. I had a hard time because I couldn't decide if I wanted to be Sarah or Sean.
Mm.
But I just could not give him that last point. Yeah, the villains have been up against a lot. They've been losing a lot. They've really been, we just spent a lot more time with them. I know them better. So there's that.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll share more on the socials. I can't wait to get more cumulative total as we go along. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe we can find a way to get our pals of the pod involved as well, like some kind of
Fun.
a pal vote or something like that. Viewer vote. VV.
Reminiscent of our popularity polls.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
The heroes
Something
and
like
villains viewer vote.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we can work that in. But yeah. So that's that. That's how I saw the week. So we've got Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for Australian Survivor coming up. Matt says, I love the lack of heroes drive edit. Go girls, give us nothing. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. Absolutely nothing. I don't even know those people. I can't wait to find out more about Jerry. People seem to like him a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people over there we don't know. What's going on with Paige? Just a cowgirl. That's it. There's a lot of people still to meet. So sorry if we didn't get to it in the first 7 minutes. But you can find us in the socials at StratChatPod or on our website at stratchatpod.com. Tell your friends, subscribe, send a link here or there. Anything else for our friends? It's after midnight here in America. We're tired.
Yeah. That's
it's
it.
night time.
It is nighttime. Time for sleepies. So we're out of here. I don't know if we'll be here Monday. Time is precious. And time's a wasting. All right, so we're out of here. Find us on the socials and give us a chat. I don't know.